the Grill is a game that I thought was a cool theme. With a grill, it's a neighborhood grill, and everyone's grilling on the same grill at the same times. You're all turning the heat up and down, and you're putting things down. It's a polyomino game. And so I was excited about it. Don't love the cover. The cover's fine. The back of the game, though, and the game itself is pretty blah looking. I was kind of surprised that it just... I think this game is made, and I would bet this game is made. It was originally crowdfunded, but I bet it was made for mass market stores. That's fine. Let's take a look. We'll be right back. In this game, players are going to be grabbing food and putting it on the grill, which is in the inside of the box here. This warming rack doesn't lay down as much as I would like it to. But, anywho, on your turn, you're going to have two actions. Now, your actions are listed at the bottom of your player board. You prepare, season, grill, sauce, rest, and serve. So to prepare, you just take a food. For example, I might take steak. Each food has some tracks. You're going to put cubes on those tracks to show how many points it's going to be worth. The longer this one cooks, so this, you can see a cook is 2. Steak is no good at the beginning, but then it becomes 2, then 4, then back down to 2. While when you leave the steak out at the end, you're going to leave it on your prepared area, your resting area. You don't want it to be anywhere except right here, or else you're going to lose some points. And if you let it cook too long, let it rest too long, or let it prepare too long, then you have to get rid of it. So there's also some flavor text, which I'm going to comment later, but this one says, in case of vampire steak, or oyster says, all shucks, or this tofu skewer says, it's soy nice to meet you. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, this shows the shape of whatever it is. And so I'll look through and I find, here we go, here's my steak. And as an action, when I first get the steak, I have to put it here in my prepare area. And if you don't have room for it, you can't put it there. And then each turn that you leave it at the beginning of your turn, these are all going to move up. But you want to get it on the grill. Now the grill has 2 spots. It has this hot side, and it has side for meats and a side for vegetables. Although if you get something that is yellow, so for example, I might have this soup here, and I can put that here. It can go on either side or even halfway on each of these. When you put it on, you can change the heat. The hotter something is, the more your cube on here is going to move. So you don't want to get things too hot, or maybe you do, depending on which foods that you're putting on the grill. Now, as you put these foods on the grill, another action is you can pull them off the grill. You then have to put it in your rest area. But you have to, again, make sure that you have enough room to put it in the rest area. And finally, you're going to serve it as an action, and you put it out here, anywhere on this whole thing. And when you cover up spots out here, you will get those bonus actions. One of the bonus actions is seasoning and saucing things. And for that, you just add a cube here and here. When you finally do serve it, that's when you're going to get the points for it. And you're just basically going to add these seasoning and sauces. We'll add 1, although you can see this pork steak here can have a lot of sauces on it. So you can have a lot of points, and then adding up the other points on it. And you're going to keep going, and eventually the game is going to end when someone has served their 4th recipe by putting it out here. They finish your turn, everyone else gets 1 turn, and whoever has the most points is the winner. There's a lot of cool concepts in Grill. There is one thing, though, that Grill wins an award for possibly the worst writing on any cards ever. Zucchini, raised in captivity. Grill leaks. We have ways of making you stalk. Quiche. Honey, have you seen my car quiche? Potato, boil and mash them, stick them in a stew. That's fine. Grilled vegetables, picked from the front of a car. Lentil burgers. The burgers above the door. It's terrible. Okay, well, whatever. Like I said, the game doesn't have a good look to it, unfortunately. There's a few other minor flaws to the game. The oven, turning it up or down, and you can have it do more cubes or less cubes, and you put on the back of it, the burner, where it doesn't go up to or not. It's still a little chaotic when you're going around. If you have more than 3 players, and more than 2 players, I'm sorry, but 3, 4, and 5, that heat changes so much that you really don't have any kind of control over, especially the person right before you. They can be like, I'm just going to turn up the heat. And I don't know, that's somewhat interesting, but it feels very random. That tablecloth where you put out the stuff when you're done has symbols on it. Well, sometimes you can use those symbols, sometimes you can't. But you know what? You're always going to cover them up. Why? So that other people can't use them. And after a while, that gets less interesting too. And then the meats and stuff. I showed you an interesting one, steak, but there's other ones, and they're not all interesting. I would like more that went up or down, so you're trying to let it sit out a little bit longer, put it here a little bit longer. But usually your best bet is to cook it, get it, season it, do this, put it out. And the fact that you only do 4 and the game's over means the game ends you a little bit unsatisfied. I like the idea, the concepts, the taking the polyominoes, fitting them into spots, but fitting them in a prep spot, who cares? You're never going to have a problem fitting stuff there. It almost feels like it was just, that's there because, well, they've already had you put stuff in every other spot. But you got to get it out on the tablecloth before it goes bad anyway. So it's not like you don't have a lot of actions to be doing that. So the polyomino thing, except for the grill itself, where it does matter where stuff fits, feels like an extra step that didn't need to be there. But it feels like it's on the cusp of being a fun game. It just is a little short for me, and that's License to Grill. I give it a 6 out of 10.